Well, good morning again, everybody. Chaplain Joe back at you here again. We're continuing our series on faith and patience, the Power Twins. And we're talking about what Elijah did while he was waiting on the manifestation of God. Or what do you do between the promise and the performance? When God gives you a word, and then how long you have to wait until that thing comes to pass in your life. So the other thing that Elijah did, and this is found in 1 Kings chapter 18, is he refused to walk by sight. And I love the story there where the Bible says Elijah sent his servant out to see if there's a cloud in the sky. And for the first 7 times or 6 times, nothing happened. But on the 7th time, the servant came back and said, I see a cloud the size of a man's hand. And it lets me know that Elijah, he walked by faith and not by sight. Now the reason he walked by faith, because all the way back in verse 1, God said it was going to rain. So Elijah already knew it was going to rain. Even though he couldn't see it with his natural eyes, and even though the people around him, in this case the servant, couldn't see that it was going to rain, Elijah knew it was going to rain because God already told him that it was going to. So he walked by faith and not by sight, and we as believers have to do the same thing. The other thing that he didn't do is he didn't despise the day of small beginnings. You know, he kept sending his servant out there, and eventually after the 7th time or so, 7th or 8th time, the servant said, I see a cloud the size of a man's hand. Now that cloud wasn't large enough to produce a whole entire huge rain to get rid of the famine of the land, but it was the beginning of something. So saints, the same thing we got to do. Don't despise the day of small beginnings, because something great happens from something small. Anything that happened that was great, it started off as something very small and it built its momentum over time. I like what Ron Carpenter, he said the definition of diligence is the ability to start off something small, but do it for a long time till it becomes something big. And that's what diligence is. So how diligent are we in our life, in our finances, in our diets, in our exercise, and the way we raise our children in our marriages or what have you? How diligent are we? Because the small things that we do for long periods of time become big things over time. And lastly, the other thing that he did is he remained faithful. He remained faithful, waiting for this manifestation to happen. Now, I want to talk about faith real quick. And faith is not just something we have in quick spurts, but it's also something we have for the long haul. I'm reminded in Matthew 14 where Peter walked on water with Jesus, but then he saw the wind of the waves and then he started to sink. So any person can have faith, in big, quick spurts, but can you have it consistently? Because consistent faith over the long haul brings big results. So I'm going to stop there. Until then, continue to have faith and patience and walk in it to see the manifestation that God promises in your life. Until then, next time, God bless.